Next on Be More to Do More podcast, going from the culture to corporate. Have you ever got passed up on anything because of your culture?
You know, I almost got fired. Let's start there.
Let's talk about it.
I almost lost my career because I had to understand the difference between the culture and corporate culture, in a sense.
Was that like pressure to kind of like fit this module?
Earlier on in my career, like I thought I had to be that type of person to get to where I wanted to get to.
Right.
And I think eventually I just got to the point and I was just like, man, bump it. If I get there, I get there. But if I don't, I don't. Like,
right.
I gotta be true to myself. We're gonna start with the lyric today. It comes from Nipsey. Young black man trap, but he can't change it. No, he a genius, he just can't claim it. They left him no platform to explain it.
Let's talk about it. When the last time you told somebody keep their head up cause you concerned about them. Stick and move, we can get it done. Call it unity, it ain't no way around it. Cultivating, we get motivation from the big guy. We don't play about them. Going hard for the game, showing love, always tolerate hate around it. Sticking to keeping it real, we never keep up with the scope. Wanna be more than do more than most. Wanna be more than do more than most.
This episode is brought to you by Lucilla's Cleaning Service, where your cleanliness is our business. Now, this company specializes in commercial and residential cleaning. So if you want a free quote, be sure to reach out to their website at www.lucillascleaningservice.com.
What's happening, people? Welcome back to Be More to Do More podcast.
Quiet storm.
Where we help you become the person you need to become to do the things you called to do. Your boy Tone in the building. When you know who else we got.
Henry Allen Harton.
The what?
The third.
Don't forget the
3.
Yeah, welcome back. What's up, brother?
No, what's up with you? Let's start there. The silky voice, the shades on.
Hey,
I'll tell you, boy, you can't.
Don't y'all miss the Quiet Storm, bro?
Yeah.
Don't y'all? You don't miss the Quiet Storm? Did y'all have?
You know what's so crazy?
What's that?
Speaking of Quiet Storm, so one of my team members, I found out that he has this like huge, like YouTube.
Really?
And he got like 3.2 million views on a Quiet Storm mix he made.
Are you serious?
It's crazy.
Whoa.
But that ain't what we talking about right now, all right?
Yeah.
It's about you, all right?
Man, yeah.
It needs shades.
You know.
So we just, got back from a shoot.
Nah, let me stop, man.
And this guy is just feeling himself.
Yeah, man, you know.
He's he in GQ magazine.
Very too often, your brother dress up. Because when you behind the scenes editing, man, you just in a dark room all day.
Yeah.
Dress up and, shine
so you was in the shot, so you had to put your shades on because you was in the sun today, huh?
Yeah, man.
You was in the light, so you just had to get a little comfortable, had to get a little, put your shades on, get a little darker.
Vampire mode, bro.
Vampire mode.
You already know, man. No, for real, man. I used to be so cool. You know how you can be too cool that you're too cool for no purpose at all. Like, you so into yourself and being cool and let me look a certain way, you can't serve nobody. I just had to throw a bars in there, you know what I mean? You feel me?
Oh, we got drops now.
We got drops. Hey, Be More to Do More, man. We coming up, man. But speaking of all that, man, shades and being cool and Quiet Storm, we're talking about the culture, man.
Yeah.
Going from the culture to corporate. And I know somebody who know exactly what that is, and this guy right here.
I mean,
what we got, man?
I almost got fired. Let's start there. Let's
talk about it.
I almost got fired from.
Nah, that wasn't it.
Let's talk about it.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, cool. I'm still new to this, man. Go ahead.
But I almost lost my career because I had to understand the difference between the culture, and corporate, culture, in a sense, So, but I was listening to the song, right? We're gonna start with the lyric today.
Hold on.
You got one of them.
Hold on.
The lyric of the week.
There we go.
We're gonna start with the lyric today, and Comes from Nipsey.
Nip.
Shout out to Nipsey.
R.I.P.
He says, young black man trap, but he can't change it. No, he a genius, he just can't claim it. They left him no platform to explain it.
Oh, bars.
And sometimes, man, as when you're kind of coming up, and obviously there's certain things that you have to shave off. There's certain behaviors that you have to adjust and change, right?
Right.
When you're in a certain environment, sometimes the way that you communicate or the way that you're used to communicating,
right,
don't always allow you to look like you know what you're talking about.
Okay.
And I don't know. I know in my career I had to learn how to separate, the culture that I kind of grew up in, corporate, but at the same time incorporate it. If that makes sense. I don't know if that make any sense.
It made plenty of sense today, bro. Cause I got two different perspectives on that, but we're not gonna talk about that, man. We're gonna not right now.
Not right now.
So, I mean, of course, like you started corporate like a few years back, right? Mm-hmm. So, was that like pressure to kind of like fit this module that you wasn't necessarily familiar with?
That's a good question. Was it pressure to fit this mold that I think part of it, right? I think like earlier on in my career, like I thought I had to be that type of person to get to where I wanted to get to. Right. And I think eventually I just got to the point and I was just like, man, bump it. If I get there, I get there. But if I don't, I don't. Like,
right.
I got to be true to myself.
Right.
You know? Yeah. So
that's true.
Yeah. In a sense, there's things you have to adjust. But for the most part, you and I think that's what I want to kind of talk about, right? Is like, is what things you should be adjusting and what things maybe you can hold on to. What are your thoughts on that? What do you feel like, something that, when you're in a corporate environment, a corporate setting, right? Because you've worked a variety of different places, right? What do you feel like you can hold on to? And I think that's a part like I was always nervous of, because I feel like if I conform too much, I lose my edge. Right. And I lose the things that like made me. And,
no, I get that.
Gave me the competitive advantage.
I get that. I think, man, like, that's like one of the main reasons why I didn't hold on to a job for long. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I won't say I struggle with conforming, but I struggle with trying to fit a mold. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think like coming up like in the corporate, because I worked at some corporations, I just struggle with fitting their mold or how I perceive their mold to be. Right. It may have not been that. I probably was just in my head like, y'all trying to make me be something I'm not. Maybe maybe I did have a problem with growing, but maybe it was a mold thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. But today, it's different. Mm-hmm. And a few things. Well, one thing make it different. Social media. I think that now we are in a time where our culture is accepted, or we are on the verge of being accepted in those rooms and in certain companies. And you see a lot of companies out there that's really doing some major things in a major way. Shout out to I reached out to this guy, Big Dave.
Cheesecake?
Philly cheese, no, the cheesesteak.
Cheesesteak.
Yeah.
What I said, cheesecake?
Cheesecake, yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Ain't he married to
Pinky, ain't he?
Yeah.
I think is it Pinky?
Slutty. No.
Yeah,
Slutty vegan.
Yeah, Pinky. Yeah.
No, that's not her, is it?
Yeah, she's Slutty vegan, yeah.
Is it Pinky?
I'm 99% sure.
Okay. But I was listening to one of his stories, and hopefully we get a chance to talk to him, but he came from the streets. He came from, I ain't gonna say streets, but he came from the projects, the inner city. And now he have is it $1 million corporation? multi-million dollars.
Yeah,
I'm
probably
not sure.
probably
Multi-million dollars. So
I would imagine.
we have leaders like that today, you know, coming from coming from our culture and leading the way and showing people in our culture that you can and it can be accepted, because we have social media now. We have social media, and so we can touch not only America,
Right.
You know, we can touch Asia, we can touch Africa. So, you know, our reach is more. Well, we can reach more people. Just put it like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the culture itself of like the hip hop culture, right? I mean, it's the expansion and how popular it is in today's time is also, you know, made it easier. But again, there's certain things even in that culture that, okay, like it doesn't translate over to, you know, to corporate,
like selling drugs. It can with pharmaceuticals.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I did it for a living. Boy, what you talking about? Boy, I don't know what I'm doing. Why you playing, boy? I've been doing it for 10 years, boy.
Yeah. I would even say like, okay, like you take some of the things, right? Like, the hip hop's culture, and it's obviously it's changing because it's evolving.
Yeah, it's evolving. Yeah.
But you know, and I would say from maybe 95 to let's call it 05,
millennials,
you know, or even 15 maybe.
Right.
Those 20 years, 10, 20 years. You think about what was the view on women.
Right.
In hip hop culture.
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like so like it was very like immature, you know, Playboy style,
Doggish,
like dog, like and
misogynistic,
misogynistic, right? So you know that's something that your view, like yes, you can grow up in this environment in a from your culture,
right?
But you're gonna have to adapt or adopt a new philosophy on.
No, that's true. That's definitely true.
You know how to view women,
right? Yeah. Well, just one example, right?
That's one example.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. And communication. You know, like even me, man. I ain't gonna say I struggle with communication, but sometimes I have to understand that even in the corporate settings, there are people who wasn't raised like I was.
Right.
So I can say something to you like, "Boy, what you talking about, boy?" Or
right.
You know, one of those colloquialism. I think
colloquialism. Yep.
You know what I'm talking about? That we have, and like an unspoken thing that's in our culture that other people may not get.
Right.
So I think that communication, we definitely have to adjust there. I ain't saying you have to talk proper. I mean, you know, just clearly.
Communication is so broad.
Yeah.
Like okay, verbally, right? Like verbal communication in terms of you got to change your tone that you normally say something. You might, in our culture, you might say it pretty aggressively to somebody.
Yeah.
And you don't mean it aggressively. It's just how it comes off. It's just,
what you doing?
Right. and also, like that piece of like it's almost we joan, right? We grew up joning, right? Joking or something. What's the more political correct term?
I don't know.
See, everybody don't call it joning. Like in other cities, rank, like
Joan. I heard.
Rank,
I heard a few things.
But we joke on each other, right? And we joke on, we make fun. We poke fun of it,
right?
And even now, I got one of my close friends that that just started with the company that I work with, and like I know that when we get in certain settings, we ain't gonna be able to joke the way we normally would joke outside of work, right? Because it's just it's because everybody takes things differently, right? And
that's true.
They may view it as you might say, "What you doing, boy?" Like, and you obviously you're encouraging them, like, "Hey, man, calm down, buddy."
Right.
But they might take it as a diss, like, because who you talking to like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So verbally, yes,
communication.
You have to communicate differently.
Right. Doobies, this is Be More to Do More podcast,
and we have some exciting news for you today.
Listen, we're coming up on 1 year of Be More to Do More podcast, and we really appreciate you all for rocking with our content. But listen, y'all don't want to miss this opportunity right here.
Yes, sir. We've launched an email subscription list where you'll get bonus episodes, get behind the scenes information, as well as discounts on all merchandise and events. Best part about it, it's free.
It's free. This is the chance to dive deeper into conversations you love.
Yes, sir. So hit that subscribe button right now and join our incredible community.
Let's go.
Let's go.
This is what I like about today is that the conversations are changing around things like that. Now, of course, like you mentioned before, being respectful with our culture and learning what that is important, you know, when it comes to combining culture and corporate. Like, we have to be respectful to one another. Ladies, other races, you know, I believe we should be respectful. And I know we always have this black and white thing going on, but just being respectful to one another and being open, you know, to each other's culture. I think is a great deal, especially if you're trying to influence in leadership.
Yeah,
it's a good deal to kind of like just be respectful for one another.
Yeah,
but cultures out there, man, like the calling or I don't know, man, nonverbals. What's another nonverbal?
Shooting
a bird, maybe.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we just take pictures like that,
you know.
I think too. Like another thing is like the aggressiveness.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
You got to be very careful on again how you communicate in the message and make sure that that's just the way I talk.
Yeah,
but,
right.
Or that's just the way, I am. But being aggressive and not being aggressive, but not in a threatening way.
Right. Assertive. I say assertive.
Ooh, assertive.
I like assertive.
That's a good word.
I learned that in psychology. I learned you got passive, you got assertive, and then you got aggressive. Yeah, psychology.
So passive, I guess, is more, something happened, you just walk,
Yeah, like,
yeah.
Or you might be passive aggressive. Assertive is like, yo, what are you doing? Aggressive, like, yo, what? You know what I mean? Just get more rowdy.
Yeah.
You can be assertive and say, hey, I mean what I say. I say what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think another thing that you got to be careful of, just when you kind of transitioning from the culture into corporate, is like physical too.
Physical.
And I think every culture is different, right? I know we're talking about more so like hip hop culture, but I think so I grew up also in sports culture. Right. And in sports culture, there's sports culture. There's more especially like growing up in like football, like there's a lot of physical things that you do to maybe even congratulate somebody.
Smack them on the butt.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say that, but
I know you wanted to. I was gonna say it for you. Go ahead.
But you
can't go in the office.
Yeah. Hopefully nobody wants to smack somebody on the butt in professional setting. But even man, you did a good job today. You kind of punch them on the, just stuff like that. Like you got to be careful on, who you do that to, how you do it, right? Or because that can, be taken a certain way, right? Like, oh my gosh, they just assaulted me, right? Right? It's just like, dang,
Hey man, so have you ever got I don't want to say in trouble, but have you ever got passed up on any position or passed up on any, not like what we talked about, but just in general, have you ever got passed up on anything because of your culture? You know what I mean?
You feel that way, right?
Yeah, I think we talked about that too.
You kind of feel that way. This is why, okay, so, all right, get back to the lyric, right?
Right.
Young black man trapped, but he can't change it. No, he a genius, he just can't claim it. They left with no platforms to explain it, right?
Right.
And man, here's the reality though. This is why I said I'm gonna be me, and if it works, it works. It don't.
Right.
Because I promise you, well, I can't speak for every company, but and you may have to be the person that creates that I don't know, safe haven or that lane.
Thought leaders.
But there is, man, I'm telling you, dude, who is for you and who you're supposed and where you're supposed to be, like nobody can take that away. Like God, like what God has for you,
it's for you.
It's for you.
Right.
So that's why I say, like, that's why I try not to put too much pressure on myself, on my team, or like, you don't have to necessarily change who you are, right? Like you have to polish who you are,
right. But
you don't have to necessarily change who you are, because even if I don't like it, there's gonna be somebody that's okay with it,
right?
And I give you a perfect example. We just got a new leader in a new position. And like I ain't gonna say that our previous leader was more corporate-y. I'm not gonna say that, but like
corporate-y.
But I can give you an example, right? And it wasn't necessarily him. It was things around it, but like we had to be very specific on how we ordered out the menu.
Okay,
because you don't want to order something that you got to eat with your hands too much, right? Because it's like, you want to be, you want to have a good impression, and and it's almost like you ever heard somebody say, don't go to a dinner hungry. Like if you're going out to a meeting or something, like don't go there hungry.
Right.
You ever heard that before?
Nope.
No.
Mm-mm.
So they always say that, like don't go somewhere hungry, because when you're hungry, one or two things are going to happen. One, you're going to be hangry, right? So your interactions are not going to be as, as positive,
right?
Because man, you just ready to eat,
right?
And then you're ready to go because you can't eat. The food ain't coming fast enough. You're very irritable, right? So you don't set the best example, right?
Right. You can't focus on what you're actually there for,
right?
Yeah, the conversation.
The second part of that though is when that food come and you hungry. You about to mash out on it, right? Like it's
care what it look
like we about to kill it, right? And so now, like your perception, the perception of you is, man, this dude is a pig,
right.
So so all my doobies out there, that's a little game for you right there. If you ain't heard that, for some little game for you, but yeah, so when going out, you want to kind of get something that you can eat with a fork,
right,
and a knife, right? If, a little bit etiquette, right? A little bit about etiquette classes. If you don't, YouTube it.
Right.
I mean,
right.
We got we got so many things. So, but it's gonna teach you some things. But what we end up doing was, we all it was so crazy. We all ordered the same thing. We ordered like salmon and something. Like we all everybody getting the salmon, right? Because it's just easier to cut and versus like getting a piece of chicken. You gotta kind of try to use your fork to get the chicken, and it just ain't working right.
Right.
Well, so fast forward, right? We got a new person, and he like, oh no, let's get some ribs.
I like this guy.
Right? Yeah. And okay, some ribs. Okay, all right. So get the ribs off the plate, boom, and I'm over here.
Let me see you eat first.
Well, yeah. So you got to pay attention, right? You got to pay attention to the surroundings,
right?
And he's smashing these ribs, right?
Right.
And with his hands, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, all right,
he cool,
yeah. So I'm still because I'm very, I like to be aware, right, of like how I'm being perceived, because I think as a African American male, not saying that the people around me feel this way, right, but I just understand that, like, being from different culture, like I have to be very cautious on how I'm being perceived, so I am a little more cautious in those settings.
So that's an interesting story. Let me give you a story that you might be like, dang.
Well, let me finish one more.
Oh,
thing.
go
last part of it. I got you though. So I'm eating with the fork,
right?
The ribs. He looked at me.
What you doing?
What are you doing, man? If you don't pick that up and I had to get, like, it was very uncomfortable for me,
right,
to even do that, because like I've trained myself to be so cautious, but again, it just what it taught me though. Yeah, I become a little more polished, right. But what it taught me though is, man, the reality of it is, there's somebody out there that does things your way, the way that you're used to doing things.
Yeah.
And you just got to find that person. Now, are you willing to wait right? But I think, again, like going back to the lyric, right? Like, you're a genius.
Right.
Like, you got it. Like, but it just, how do I express myself in a way that they understand what I mean?
Like you say, man, just be you. Because because my question is, like, given that example, eating with your hands or with a fork, who says there's a right or wrong way?
The history.
Okay, let's
you
go
gotta
back.
think about it, right? History, like old time, like in the 80s or 70s or whatever. Like that's how they ate their food.
Who's history? Because I'm finna give you a story.
Okay, talk to me.
So, shout out to Mario and Rahel. I was in their wedding. Rahel is Ethiopian.
Okay.
No, Rahel. Forgive me. She is, but it's not Eritrean, but it's another one. But anyway, it's
different culture.
Yeah. Well, speaking on Nip, they in the same hood. You know what I mean? They're from, because Nip is Eritrean.
Okay.
So that's Ethiopian in that area.
Okay.
But there's another area. So I'm glad we're talking. So I was in their wedding.
Is it like being from the west side and the east side? Is that?
No, I think they beefing. I don't know, man. I will have to get her up here to talk about that. But first of all, the wedding was 3 days.
Wait, what?
The wedding was 3 days.
Oh, okay.
So it was like 3 different ceremonies. The first ceremony was the American ceremony. Normal, cake, dance, and all that. Normal. The second one was the Ethiopian ceremony. This was so fire, bro. Like, they culture is so beautiful, man. Like, I was so excited to be a part of that journey about that culture. We went to go get some food, right? And they got this wrap and they got this meat, spicy, real spicy, right? And some other stuff, right? That you put on the plate. I can't tell you nothing about the name of the food. Hopefully she can comment somewhere and just help us out a little bit on this. Where we at? 28? Okay. So I go get the food. We go back and sit down, right? So I grab my fork. And she said, if y'all use y'all fork, I'm going to kill y'all.
God dang.
Now, real talk, she was like,
Intense.
y'all better not use y'all fork. Like, for real.
Yeah.
She said, y'all better not use y'all forks. Use your hand. So we had to get the bread.
Oh, yeah.
We had to, with the potatoes, and eat with our hands. So in one setting, using your hand is kind of looked down on upon, But in another setting, using a fork and a knife or a spoon is looked down upon too. So who's to say which culture is right or wrong? Which leads me to the lyric of the day. Like, you just never know. I think we set these parameters in culture, and we didn't allow for room for other cultures to come in and just set the tone. No pun intended. So y'all follow setting the tone.
This guy.
Hold on. Y'all follow setting the tone. Anyway, so these things are questionable. Like when it comes to culture, you just never know in what setting what is right. And the Bible says, "Be all things to all people." Apostle Paul told us to be all things to all people. We have to be open to other people's culture and their outlook and perspective. That's the biggest part of influencing, like, your organization or influencing people, just being open to their perspective. But if you dismiss it and you don't accept it, then you're going to be left like Nipsey. Nipsey, he was a guy, very intelligent. Our culture knew a lot about Nip.
Right.
Tattoos, beard, he one of us.
Right.
But when you sit him down to talk about crypto, talk about business, he even said it, I think, in that same song, I'm vertically integrated. Like, who knows what that is? That's a business, like, vertically integrated.
Right.
I don't want to go into that, but you know what I mean? Like, like it's a way of selling products and making money. It's a module. But he was genius, like he was, but no platform to explain it because the culture,
right,
then, or the company, the corporate culture didn't a lot for, people like, I'm not gonna say people
gang
like
member
us.
from the block with tattoos all on them.
You know what I mean? You just never know, right?
Yeah.
But my thing is, today we are in an age where thought leadership is on the rise.
Yeah.
If you have a different perspective, an outlook that will speak to a certain group of people, and you have an expertise, you can create your own platform. You know what I mean? Like, be more to do more. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So, like, that's why it's so important to, I want to say,
because everybody has an audience, I guess, right? Like,
Yeah.
everybody has an audience, and I think that because you asked the question, right? Who makes the rules?
yeah, I think most of that British culture, bro.
But Meek Mill said it, right? Like, the man with the gold makes the rules, right? And the one who makes the rules break the rules,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So, and I think you lean into the right sector, because like you have to kind of build your own village and build, because like you're gonna be frustrated,
right,
trying to like find and get yourself into this box or fit yourself into this box that really you don't deserve to be in a sense.
Right.
And if just the reality of it is just the best way that you can avoid that is get some gold and become somebody that people can follow to.
What's the goal? What is the goal?
Huh?
What's the gold?
The gold is in my opinion, right? It's having your own voice, right? If you. And I think like there's a lot of people that I applaud the, like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it. Say it. Here's the reality, right? Here's the reality. The LGBTQ plus community,
right? Oh, we going there?
Has figured it out because they have created. They have put everyone on notice.
Right.
If you don't call me by what I'm,
right,
like what my pronouns are,
right,
it's gonna be a problem.
And they set the example.
But
that took some time.
That took time.
So, and that's the thing. Like you mentioned one thing, it is frustrating when you have a voice and you feel like you're being boxed in. Mm-hmm. But then this is where thought leadership comes into play. Mm-hmm. You start to ask yourself, I wonder who else feel like this.
Yeah.
It puts you in a seat of service, servanthood, because you now are becoming an advocate. That's all thought leadership is.
Right.
You having a certain expertise and you're becoming an advocate for people who maybe look like you or think like you, or whatever. And then you kind of, like you say, build a community. Right. You build your own platform. Now you are not only you, but your platform is respected because you unify people. Yeah. You brought people together. And that's what thought leadership is all about, man. Yeah. I keep talking about thought leadership.
Yeah, I mean it's important though, right? Like, yeah. I think becoming a thought leader or becoming a voice to the voiceless in a sense. Right. Like there's somebody out there that's going exactly through what you're going through.
That's true.
And you gotta be that. Like it's almost like you should feel the shame that you're not in a position to help that person. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. See. Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's hard for me to respect people that we're gonna go there, but
last time that I checked, he ain't got no respect. Go ahead.
I don't think they go like that, but
hey man, I had to throw a little ranch in there, man.
I like it. Let's talk about it. Do your thing. Hey, there's somebody out there that never gets lyrics right that you'll be able to lead.
You know what I mean?
Right? So, no, serious though, but it's hard to respect somebody that made it. Right. And then they don't come back and help the people that didn't make it. Right. Like it's hard for me to kind of dang, man, you got all this, man, and you don't even give back. Like you don't, how
long did that last though?
Which part?
Like a person that make it and don't get. I mean, they can live their best life and just and not. It lasts for until they die. And then no legacy.
There's no legacy though.
It's gone.
So they'll have those people in their treasures, the things that they value the most, go right back to the pot. They go right back to the pot.
Man, don't make me do it though. Don't make me do it. Hold on. Nah, keep talking. Keep talking because I gotta look for it, man.
But I think regardless of what like culture you're in, right? Like whatever. Again, transition from culture to from culture to corporate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can look at hip hop. You can look at sports culture. You can look at like it's about like the LGBTQ, right, or whatever spiritual culture. Like church culture,
right?
Whatever culture that you are in or you come from, either you're gonna have to be that voice, or you got to contribute significantly to build the voice for, somebody just like you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's what it's all about. You know what I got? Scripture of the week. I've been waiting to use that button, bruh. Scripture of the week. You just said something, man, so it sparked something we're going to talk about Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 through 21. What version is this? It's straight from Google, so I can't tell you what version this is. It says, "Do not lay up for yourselves treasure on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also."
Mm-hmm.
This scripture is basically telling us to put. So when we talk about heaven, a lot of people think about this as afterlife, but if you think about heaven, Jesus said, "Repent now, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand," meaning the kingdom of heaven is here now, meaning the realm of God, the will of God is here right now. So the Bible is telling us to put our hearts there. Once we begin to align ourselves with God and our purpose that He placed in our lives, or even before the foundation of His world, then we will begin to form some type of servanthood to help people that we have help people with the struggles that we endured ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like with your example, if you're just here to make money and to, collect for yourselves, the Bible says where thieves can come steal and moth and rust, when you're not here, that's gone. It's not going to last.
Right.
You can't take it with you. And but if you put your heart and align your heart with the will of God for your life, and begin to walk in your purpose, then you begin to touch people. Yep. You may not even know it, and I'm not gonna say you may not know it till you leave, because that don't make sense. But I mean, we don't.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I wonder does that happen? Like, does God just kind of replay like,
this is what you did?
Yeah, like, well, not even that. Just like, because you did this, look how this affected this person's life,
right?
And how 3 generations, how it's gonna affect their kids.
Well, I'm pretty sure, because that's what sin is.
What do you mean?
Sin. Like sin.
Oh, it affects.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I wonder if guy he got like a 150,000 screen inch TV, and he just like display, hey, watch the film, all right, running back, let me show you what you should have did. Pull left,
You did this, and that's what I think, man. You did this, and it affected this person this way, and they taught their kid this way. Yeah. Caused this,
Dang, you know how crazy that is.
Yeah.
You know how crazy that is.
Yeah, but that's how I think about it.
That's how it is, though. That's how it is.
People say people never remember what you said to them. They only remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
That's spiritual. You know what I mean? So, like, when you begin to align yourself with God and walking your purpose, and you have a message for your life, you know what I mean? let me break this down. See, this is why I struggle with the name of Jesus. I know we going somewhere. I know we got a topic, but Jesus is a Latino word, I think. I think Jesus is.
It's a lot of Latinos named Jesus for sure.
But Jesus, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
but his original name
tomato.
His original name is Yeshua HaMashiach. It's Hebrew or Arabic, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it means God, the one who saved. You know, Jesus, Yeshua, his name was his calling. His calling was his life's message that he came to save. And everything that he did in his ministry spoke on that message or regarding that message. So each and every one of us have a calling. We have a name, you know, that God has given us. So therefore, if we don't align ourselves with God and his purpose that he placed in our lives, then I won't say we'll be forgotten about, but we won't affect as many people as we would if we walk in our calling, our name, our purpose, because our calling is a message. Not only what we say, but what we do and how we treat people.
Yeah.
So when we leave, our name be called, oh, that person was this.
Yeah.
His
and
life
those are your
taught me
treasures.
this. Yeah.
Like sometimes people look at that so literal, right? Like
yeah.
Oh, your possessions, your cars, your houses, your
Physical
jewelry.
things, right.
No, it's your treasures are, like you talked about, how you make somebody feel.
How you make somebody feel.
Like that's your treasure.
Right. Because that person, like, I know plenty of people who inspired me to now I'm doing this right here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure God would deem them or bless them to be good or blessed because they inspire so many people. So, yeah, man, we have to learn to walk in our calling and be comfortable. I was going somewhere with this. And be comfortable with that because it may look a little different than what corporate may say. It may even look a little different than what culture may say. So you just have to be...
Create a new culture.
Yeah, right. You just have to be comfortable with walking in your calling, man.
Yeah.
I think now I'm getting to that place where I'm getting comfortable with walking into what I was called to. And God will show you glimpses and visions. He give you those things. He give you little bread crumbs. But being comfortable in that. Man, I had numerous of jobs. Like I told you before. And that's why Mama Scylla, she speaks to my heart all the time. I don't know if I should be saying this on the podcast.
It'll be all right.
But she, you give me permission? But
yeah, whatever you... Yeah.
But she, she said, just like Tom, I had numerous of jobs, but I knew that wasn't my calling. Like, I knew, like, working for somebody what isn't my calling. Yep. And I know that what God have for me is unique. But it's not only for me though. It's not for me. It's something that he's doing in me to help somebody else. It's my total message, my total life message to the people who would be, or who's here now, who will be here when I'm gone. So like, yeah, man, you just have to be comfortable in that because what you say is different. May be different from what other people may think or believe. You might rub some people the wrong way. But walking into that and becoming a thought leader, setting the tone, y'all follow setting the tone. And
He's just feeling himself today.
You know what I mean? Man, it's the shades, bro. I got to put these, they superpower, bro. Golly, man. But yeah, man, y'all follow. See, I can't do that. But yeah, man, so like just walking in your thought leadership, walking in the influence that God's setting you up for is very important. Yeah. Because you may be an advocate for people who's feeling left out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got to wrap this up, right?
We got to wrap it up, man.
Well, I'm saying if we had to wrap it up into one.
I thought you said it's time to go.
Well,
we getting there. Yeah.
But I think, okay, what did we learn from this, right? Like we learned that if you there's a separation between the culture that you were brought up in,
right,
and being in corporate America, being a leader, being a somebody of influence or whatever, right? And you may have to polish yourself a little bit more, but at the end of the day, right, there's going to be a lane for you to be in, right? And if there's not a lane, Come to be more to do more. We'll get you right.
We'll get you right.
Nah, but you create your lane, right? Like you create your lane, and that's it, man.
Yeah, I like what you said. I'm gonna wrap it up like this: like having your culture in the top of your mind and in your heart is cool, but also being open to corporate culture. You know, don't be closed into one thing. You know, like I mentioned before, you want to be open because by you being open, you may open doors for different perspectives, and that would add to you. It cause you to evolve. You know what I mean? So we got a lot of toxicity in our culture, but we got a lot of good in our culture too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just knowing what's bad and what's not bad, what's good, you know, just taking the good to corporate. And then it's a lot of toxicity in corporate. You know what I mean? You know, and just, you know, understanding and what's that word I'm looking for? Insight, no. But just understand that there is toxicity in a lot of cultures. Just pick and pull. Yeah. That's all. And do your own thing, man.
Just take the best. Take the best of what you can.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Yep.
So cool.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Bruh. Y'all be sure to like, subscribe, share this information. Hit the bell.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell, man. Let's get this information out of here, man. I want to shout out to APAP Studios, man. Y'all like, you know what I mean? I got to shout out because y'all see the signs and stuff, but we need to let y'all know where we at doing this podcast. APAP Media Studios right here in 52, I think it's 5295.
Don't get me the line.
5295 Stone Mountain Highway. Y'all come check us out, man. Dope studio. I love it. This is home for us. And I'm good.
Good.
All right, man. Keep the head up and you concerned about it. Stick and move, we can get it done. Call it unity, it ain't no way around it. Cultivating, we get motivation from the big guy. We don't play about it. Going hard for the game, showing love, don't tolerate.